student intern Fiona. What is your name?
Zach.
Zach, nice to meet you. Today we're going to be doing some neurological exams. If anything's painful, please let me know. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, and everything today is going to be held in strict confidence. May we begin? Okay, so we're first going to be starting off with some reflexes, and we're going to be starting with the deep tenon reflexes. So I'm going to start with the jaw jerk. So you open your mouth slightly. Okay. Next, we're going to be doing the biceps. So I'm going to have you put your hands like this on your rest on your leg. Find biceps. Go ahead and flex for me. And relax. Same thing on the other side. Flex. And relax. Next, I'm going to be doing brachioradialis. So I'm going to have you relax your arms, palms on your legs. Back here. Do the same thing on the other side. Then I'm going to do triceps. You can stay in this position. Okay. Next, I'm going to do the patellar reflex. So I'm going to be contacting your knee. Okay, next going to be Achilles. Okay, and then I'm going to be doing the Gendrasic. I'm going to do one for the upper and one for the lower. So I'm going to start with the upper, so you're just going to cross your legs like this. Perfect, and then I'm just going to do the triceps for this one. Go ahead and relax. Okay. Next, I'm going to do a lower extremity. You can uncross your legs, and then you're going to go like this with your hands. I'm going to do the Achilles. And relax. Okay, let's see. Next, I'm going to be doing the visceral reflexes. I'm going to start with the direct light reflex. So I'm going to be shining this into both eyes. Go ahead and look forward. Side. So for the direct light reflex, the response would be ipsilateral pupillary constriction when light is shined in the eye. The sensory nerve is optic nerve 2. The motor nerve is ocular motor nerve 3. The integrating center is the midbrain. Next, I'm going to do indirect light. So I'm going to shine into each eye one at a time. This side. And for the indirect light, the expected response is contralateral pupil constriction. Sensory nerve is cranial nerve 2, and motor nerve is contralateral cranial nerve 3, and the integration center is in the midbrain. Next, we're going to do accommodation reflex. So I'm just going to have you follow this as I bring it to your nose. Okay. And for this one, the response is convergence of the eyes with pupillary constriction. The afferent nerve is optic nerve 2, the efferent nerve is ocular motor nerve 3, and the integrating center is the occipital cortex. Next, we're going to do the carotid sinus. So we're going to have you relax your arm on your thigh. The rate will start to decrease. The other side. Decrease on the other side as well. And yeah, it should be the reduction in heart rate when I press the carotid sinus. The sensory nerve is glossopharyngeal nerve. The integrating center is in the medulla, and the motor nerve is the vagus nerve. Next, we're going to do the oculocardiac reflex. So for this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to have you close your eyes. I'm going to press over each eyelid. Slightly. And the heart rate should decrease with this one as well. the other side. For cardiac reflex, the sensory nerve is trigeminal nerve, the integrating center is the medulla, and the efferent nerve is the vagus nerve. Next, we're going to do the ciliospinal reflex. For this one, I'm just going to pinch the back of the neck, the base of the neck, and just right here. Other side. Okay. And for this one, the pupils should dilate. The sensory nerve is the cervical sympathetic chain. The motor nerve is the cervical sympathetic chain as well, and the integrating center is from T1 to T2 spinal cord. Okay, next we're going to go into superficial reflexes. So I'm just going to describe the gag reflex. The gag reflex, what I would do on the patient is I'd use a tongue depressor on the back of their throat, and then they would typically gag. So the sensory nerve for that one is nerve 9, and the motor is cranial nerve 10. Next, we're going to do the interscapular. So for the next two, I'm going to need you to remove your shirt, please. And for interscapular, I'm going to bring this to his back and just slightly scrape up each side along the rhomboids. And for interscapular, the afferent nerve is T2 to T7 spinal nerves. The efferent is the dorsal scapular nerve, and the integrating center is T2 to T7 spinal cord. Next, we're going to do the abdominal reflex. So you're going to go ahead and lay on your back, and I'm just going to lightly brush over the abdominals. And for this one, the afferent nerve is upper T7 to T10, lower is T11 to T12. The integrating center is spinal cord T7 to T12, and efferent's upper T7 to T10, and lower is T11 to T12. The last one is the plantar reflex, which is similar to the Babinski. Go ahead and bring your feet off the table. I'm just going to scrape along the bottom of the foot. So for this one, the afferent nerve is tibial nerve, as well as the efferent, and the integrating center is S1 to S2. Okay, lastly, we're going to do pathological reflexes. First one I'm going to start with is the Babinski. It's going to be the same thing. Next is the ankle clonus. And then the last two I'm going to do, I'm going to have you sit up, please. And then I'm going to start with the Traumner one. So I'm just going to be this. Same on the other side. Okay, and relax. And then the last one is the Hoffman's test. So for this one, you're just going to bring your hand out.